How's everybody doing? Welcome back to my channel for a brand new video. So today I'm gonna be walking you through an introductory guide on how to play Zafina in Tekken 8. Now, back in the day during Tekken 7, Zafina was one of the best characters in the game. In Tekken 8, she was given some changes which caused her to drop in popularity. I personally think she's still good, and with the recent changes she got in the buff, you're gonna be seeing her a lot more. And if you're wanting to learn how to play her, hey, this is the guide for you, and I was actually waiting until this patch to make a video for her. As always, this is an introductory guide meant to give you a good starting point on how to play Zafina. My goal is to give you practical knowledge that will set you up for success. So let's go ahead and get started. Zafina is one of the most unique characters in Tekken. She fights using ancient assassination arts, which is a fighting style that focuses on evasiveness combined with good movement. She's very strong at whiff punishing your opponent and using her stances to put pressure on them, as well as having a variety of mix-ups that you can do. Her left arm also has the power of Azazel, which gives her access to powerful moves, and we'll cover this further in this guide. When it comes to movement, Zafina has some of the best movement in the game. As you can see, her backdash is very strong, just like so, and her sidestepping game is also really good as well. So you're going to be using a lot of her movement to get the most out of this character. Zafina is also a stance character. She has 3 different stances, and they can each be used in their own unique way to start your offense or as a defensive technique. I'm going to show you what the 3 stances are just so you can get a visual on it, and then later on in this guide we'll be looking at each stance in more detail. Zafina's stances are the following. Scarecrow stance. This can be manually entered by pressing 3+4, just like so. However, other moves can also transition into Scarecrow stance. In Scarecrow stance, Zafina can also move around. So as you can see, go into Scarecrow and she can move backward, just like so. She can also move forward. And she can also move side to side, so she can sidestep. Now, with this movement, you can actually use it to your advantage, cause your opponent to whiff, bait an attack, and then you can punish accordingly. Mantis stance. This can be done manually by pressing down 3+4, just like so. However, other moves can transition into the stance as well. In Mantis stance, she can also move back and forth. So as you can see, move backward, move forward. You can also dash forward, like so. And she also has side-to-side movement, as you can see. Mantis stance can also go under high attacks, just like so. Tarantula stance. This can be manually entered by pressing down 1+2, just like so. In this stance, Zafina can only move forward. That's her only option. Because of how low Zafina is to the ground, she's crawling on it, as you can see, this stance can actually avoid a lot of attacks, highs, and some mids. Every stance that Zafina has can be cancelled by pressing down back. So as you can see, Scarecrow, down back, reset. Mantis, down back, reset. Tarantula, down back, reset. In Tekken 8, Zafina has a unique property because her left arm has the power of Azazel. What this means is that she has the ability to use really strong moves, but they come at the cost of losing some of your health. Let me just demonstrate real quick. So I'm going to go into Scarecrow stance and I'm going to use down forward 1 and watch what happens. You can see that Zafina has a purple claw that comes out, right? Now I want you to look at her health because it goes down whenever I use that move. Look at her health. As you can see, it went down. Any move that uses the power of Azazel will cause your health to go down. However, it is recoverable because it is gray health, and in this game, gray health is recoverable by landing hits on your opponent. The thing you want to remember about playing Zafina is when to use these moves that deal damage to yourself. For example, if you want to get a combo for max damage, you'll have to use the power of Azazel twice, which means that you'll be losing a lot more points of damage. So there's a trade-off, and it's up to you to decide if that's worth it or not. This knowledge will come with time, it'll come with practice, so you just gotta be patient. However, if Zafina is in heat, she does not lose health by using moves that have the power of Azazel. So for example, let me do it normally. As you can see, the health goes down. Watch it again. Health went down. But if I activate heat, and I do the same move, health bar stays the same. Watch the health bar. Stays the same. Not only that, but when Zafina's in heat, the Azazel moves now have armor properties. So as you can see, that's normal, no armor. Activate heat, do the same move, armor. Before we move on, I'm going to show you all the moves Zafina has that use Azazel power, because they will be coming up as we move forward in this guide. And they also all happen to be heat engagers. Zafina's heat engagers are the following: forward 1+2, down forward 4-1, Scarecrow 2-1, Mantis down forward 1, Tarantula down forward 1. While Zafina is in heat, she has access to her heat smash, and she happens to have 2 of them. Let's activate heat. The regular heat smash is 2+3. One thing I like about Zafina is that there will be times when the first hit whiffs and you'll catch the opponent with the second hit, especially because of how much reach this has. Look at that. I've gotten that in real matches. People will not know that she has a follow-up to her heat smash, so they'll try to rush in and punish just to get caught by the follow-up. If Zafina is in heat and she goes into her Scarecrow stance, she also has a heat smash from here. 2-hit string, low mid. When Zafina lands her heat smash out of Scarecrow, in the open she can get a free back 3. If Zafina is at the wall and she uses her heat smash from stance, she can get a free down forward 1-2-1. So now let's move on to her key moves. First on the list is her jab string, 1-2. This is a standard jab string, good for quick pokes for small damage to your opponent. It's recommended that you check your opponent with just a single one jab to make them respect your pressure and keep them honest. From there, you can start your pressure using Zafina's extensions from her jab, which are the following: 1-3. This goes into Scarecrow stance and it allows you to start your offense. So let me show you a basic example. Let's say I notice that my opponent likes to press buttons after I do a single jab, just like so. What you can do from here is do 1-3 into Scarecrow and then follow it up with, let's say, Scarecrow 4. Watch what happens. See? One thing I want to point out about 1-3 is that it automatically goes into Scarecrow stance, as you can see. However, you can choose to not go into Scarecrow by holding back after the move is done. So as you can see, 1-3 hold back, she goes into normal stance. Next up, we have 1-4. This is a 2-hit string, and as you can see, it automatically goes into Tarantula stance. This move actually got a nice buff in the most recent patch because as you can see, the opponent falls back and then comes towards you. You're actually at a big advantage when this happens. For example, if you connect this move, when your opponent comes back up, they have to block, or else they run the risk of getting hit by Tarantula down forward 1. Another good thing about this move is that the second hit, the kick actually has counter hit properties. So let me show you. So 1-4, look at the opponent. I want you to learn how to visually recognize that, because when you get this on counter hit, you can actually get a full combo. You get a launch, just like so. This is why I say it's important to condition your opponent with just a singular one jab, because if you notice that they are mashing after the one jab, let's say I do 1-4, watch what happens. Counter hit, right? Let me show you again. So counter hit, then you can get a full combo. Next up is down forward 1. This is a mid poke with good reach. So even if I'm standing here, it's going to reach the opponent. Down forward 1 actually has a good hitbox because it can even hit characters who are in a low stance, such as Zafina's Tarantula. So as you can see, my down forward 1 was still able to hit her even though she was so low to the ground. See? It's always a good option to mix in down forward 1 with standard jab. Just keep up the small pressure just like that. Keep it safe, move around. Always a good idea. Down forward 1 also has extensions such as down forward 1-2. Now, while this string is unsafe, I should say, on block, Zafina can add an additional hit by doing down forward 1-2-1, just like so. So let's say my down forward 1-2 gets blocked, right? Zafina can punish me. As you can see, she was able to punish me with a jab. However, if I complete the string and add in the third hit and my opponent tries to punish, I'm the one that's going to win that interaction. Watch. As you can see, if I only do the first 2, they can punish. But if I do the third hit, I'm the one that wins. Always mix up the string and always have the threat of the full string in your opponent's mind to stop them from punishing you. Down 1. This is usually used as a fast move to interrupt strings. It does have a follow-up down 1-1, and on counter hit, it actually gets you a full combo. Down 1 by itself is unsafe. You can actually get launched for it. But if you follow it up with down 1-1, let's say your opponent tries to punish the first hit. You follow it up with a second hit. See? You get a combo. 1+2. This is by far your best keep out move. It is a mid attack that has good range, as you can see. It has advantage on hit, and on counter hit, it's actually a launcher. It also has an extension, 1+2, 4, or 1+2, 4, 4. Back 2. This is a high attack. It has decent reach, as you can see. And if you get this on hit, you get a free 1-3 follow-up, or 1-4. Forward 4-2. This is a high attack. It is homing, meaning your opponent cannot sidestep this. It knocks down on hit, and if you land this on counter hit, you can get a free back 3 as long as you dash up to your opponent. You see? Forward 3. This will be Zafina's main pressure tool that is a mid option. You have the advantage on block, and this can also transition into Scarecrow stance, as you can see. Or you can choose to remain in neutral by holding back after the move, just like that. This move has counter hit properties both in Scarecrow and neutral. So for example, if you land this and transition into Scarecrow, you can follow it up with Scarecrow 2-1, which is a heat engager. On counter hit in neutral, if you do not go into Scarecrow stance, you can get a follow-up down forward 4-1. So as you can see, running 3. This is a mid attack. It goes into Scarecrow stance, as you can see. It has a big advantage on block, and it does good damage on hit. This move tends to be used to close distance, to close the gap between you and your opponent, right? While running 1+2. This is a really good move, and it's one that you will be using a lot when you play Zafina. In the latest patch, they actually made it better because it's now homing, so your opponent cannot sidestep this anymore. You're at a big advantage on block, as you can see, and it goes into Tarantula stance, which means that you are able to go for a Tarantula down forward 1, and your opponent has to essentially respect it, or they risk getting hit. If the attack connects normally, you still go into Tarantula stance, and you can get down forward 1 for free. Just like that. Forward 4. This is a mid attack that has long reach, as you can see. It knocks down on hit. It's also a safe attack, useful for closing gaps and ending rounds. Zafina also has a parry. You can do that by pressing back 1+3, just like so. It's able to parry mids and highs. So for example, let me show you. Just like that. Pretty decent damage. Next up on the list, we have forward 3+4. This is a long range attack, mid attack, and you can use it to close the distance between you and your opponent and catch them by surprise. You'd actually be able to get some KOs with this. Down 3. This is a low poke which you'll be using a lot. This can avoid highs and some mids. It has good frame advantage on hit, and this move can also transition into Mantis stance by holding down. Down 3 on counter hit, you can get some follow-ups, so let me show you. Counter hit, back 3, and if you go into Mantis stance after counter hit, you get a combo. Down back 3, another quick low poke. This can transition into Scarecrow stance, but you can stay in neutral position by holding back after the attack. Down 4, another low poke, tracks, and has a follow-up in down 4-3, which is actually safe on block. If you get the first down 4 on counter hit, you can hit confirm it for a full combo. Down back 4, low poke, long reach, as you can see. It goes under highs and it tracks fairly well. This move can also transition into Mantis stance by holding down. Although the move is unsafe, there is an extension which may cause opponents to hesitate to punish. Down back 4-2, just like that. Full crouch down forward 3. This is a low attack that knocks down on hit, and you can get a back 3 follow-up. So now let's look at Zafina's stances in more detail, starting with Scarecrow stance. This is the stance that you'll find yourself the most in when playing Zafina, so it's good to get familiar with it. The reason why is because out of her 3 stances, Scarecrow is the one that's considered to be her offensive stance. She can also move back and forth, side to side, as mentioned before, so it's good to get familiar with it, and the most important thing to know about this stance is that she cannot block in Scarecrow. As mentioned, this stance can be manually entered by pressing 3+4, but in order to best use this stance, it's recommended that you enter it after some of the moves that allow her to transition into it. The best moves to do so are the following: 1-3, forward 3, while running 3, Mantis 1-3, standard 3. From Scarecrow, your best follow-up options are the following: Scarecrow 2-1. You'll actually be amazed at how often you'll catch people with this attack. And if you have heat activated already, man, gets even better, huh? Scarecrow 1-4. This can transition into Tarantula stance. Scarecrow down forward 1. Uses the power of Azazel. It's a safe mid attack that tornadoes and combos, and if Zafina's in heat, it has armor properties as well. Scarecrow back 1+2. This is a very good long range low. In previous games, Zafina was able to do this regularly, but now it's locked exclusively to Scarecrow stance. It's useful for ending rounds, but be warned that it is launch punishable, so use it with caution, but at the same time, it's still very worth to use. Scarecrow 4, mid attack, power crush, tornado launcher. This can catch opponents who are mashing buttons after you transition into Scarecrow stance. So you could do 1-3 into 4 and get a full combo from there. And it's worth mentioning again, Zafina in heat does have a heat smash from Scarecrow. In the open, back 3 follow-up, and at the wall, if she does heat smash in stance, she gets a free down forward 1-2-1. Mantis stance. This is a defensive and evasive stance. Zafina's practically crouching low to the ground, and due to her position, she can avoid high attacks and some mids. Now, unlike Scarecrow stance, Zafina can still block in Mantis by holding back. She can also block lows by holding down back, but this will cause her to go back to regular status. And that's something to mention actually. Any type of hit or block will force Zafina out of the stance back to regular neutral position. In Mantis stance, Zafina can move back and forth slowly, as you can see. She can dash, sidestep, just like that. So she can still move, but her motion is limited. I personally like Mantis stance a lot because you can have a lot of fun with it. Manually, Mantis is done by pressing down 3+4, which is honestly not a bad option, but there are certain moves that you're going to be wanting to do to go into this stance. They are the following: down 3, hold down into Mantis, down back 4 down, Scarecrow, down forward 4, 2, 1, 3. So this is a 3-hit string, and as you can see, the last hit of that string goes into Mantis as well, but you can cancel it and fake out your opponent, just like that. Your primary options from Mantis stance are the following: Mantis 1-3, 2-hit string, mid-high, jail so your opponent can't duck it, transitions into Scarecrow. If you hold back, you just go back to regular stance. Mantis down forward 1, long range mid attack, advantage on block, leaves you out of stance, also a heat engager that uses Azazel's power, armor properties in heat. Mantis 2. This move right here is a mid attack, and on counter hit, it actually gives Zafina a launcher. See? The 2 by itself is unsafe, but her extension, Mantis 2-1-4, gives your opponent something else to think about. It keeps them guessing and discourages them from trying to punish the first hit. Mantis down forward 2. This is a safe mid launcher, a bit on the slow side, but still worth using. Mantis 3-1. This is a low mid attack. It's safe, and if you get it as a counter hit, you get a pretty nice launcher. Just like that. Mantis down 4. This is a low hitting attack that's actually a slide, so it has decent reach. It's very evasive as well, and on counter hit, you also get a follow-up. One thing I want to say about Mantis stance that I want to cover before I forget is that unlike some other stances, Mantis will not realign with your opponent. So if at some point you find yourself off axis, what you can do is use Paradox. That would be 2+3. So let me go into Mantis stance. So I'm in stance. If I press 2+3, watch what happens. See? Zafina switches positions, right? Now, what I want you to know is that in this stance, Paradox, everything is opposite. Everything is mirrored. So left is right, right is left. You get the idea. But this might come in handy because you might find yourself in a position where you're opposite of the opponent while in stance. And in that situation, just quickly do 2+3. just to switch, right? And realign yourself. So overall, something good to know, might come in handy. And in general, this is just something funny to do that might be a little fun for you versus an opponent. Tarantula stance. Manually done by pressing down 2+3. This is what I would consider her hybrid stance. It can be used both as an offensive and defensive tool. Using this stance is basically like rock, paper, scissors. It puts you and your opponent into a guessing game. What are you gonna do? What is your opponent gonna do? Whoever makes the wrong choice, they're gonna know about it. It's gonna hurt. So in Tarantula stance, the only way you can move is forward. Blocking is also not possible in this stance, but because Zafina is on the ground, this stance will naturally avoid all high attacks and many mid attacks. Good moves to get you into Tarantula stance are the following. 1-4. Scarecrow, 1-4. Scarecrow, 1+2, down. While running 1+2. And Mantis, down forward 4. From Tarantula, the plan is simple. Are you going to go low or mid? The objective is to mix up your opponent and land the right hit. So these are the best options to go for. Tarantula 1. This is a low sweep that knocks down on counter hit. So if you land this on counter hit, you get a free down forward 1, just like that. And if you don't want to spend the health by using down forward 1, you have the option of doing down 1+2. Tarantula 3 is a mid attack that knocks down, and you get a free down forward 1. And if you don't want to spend the health, you can do Tarantula down 1+2. Tarantula 1+2. This is a mid attack. It avoids lows, and if you get it on hit, you get a free back 3. Tarantula down 1+2. This is a low attack. It knocks down on hit, and as you saw, it goes into Mantis stance automatically. Tarantula down forward 1. This is a safe move, takes you out of stance, puts you in heat, and once you're in heat, you get armor properties. Tarantula 2. This is a safe mid launcher. It's really slow, however, so the best way to use this would be to condition your opponent to block low. If they see you go into Tarantula stance, use a couple low sweeps, and then when they least expect it, go for the big launcher. Tarantula 4-3. This is good to use for knowledge checking your opponent. How much do they know the matchup? And if they don't know the matchup and they try to press, you get a launcher if the last hit connects. Zafina's punishers are the following. 10 frame, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4. 12 frame would be a heat smash. 13 frame, down forward 1-4. 14 frame, down forward 4-1, or down forward 4-2. 15 frame, Zafina does not have a 15 frame launcher, so the best you're gonna get is down forward 3-4, and you can follow it up into down back 4-2. 16 frame, down forward 2. While standing punishers. 10 frame, down back 1 jab. 11 frame, while standing 4. 15 frame, while standing 1-2. 18 frame or worse, while standing 2. And that's going to do it for this video. I hope it provides you with a good understanding on how to play Zafina. And honestly, the best thing about this character, the most fun thing about Zafina, is that there's no one way to play her. She's very unique, and you can get really creative with her move list. So it's really all up to you. How are you going to play her? Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know what y'all thought. Other than that, I hope everyone has a good day. Stay safe out there. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.